sat down with Hayley. 2 years ago, she lost her father, and since then, she's been on a journey of grief, healing, and learning to navigate life without him. In today's conversation, we're going to talk about what grief really looks like. Not the version people like to talk about, but the real, messy, complicated experience of losing someone who brought you into this world. We're talking about mental health, the impact of loss, and what it actually takes to start healing when the world's been turned upside down.
That explains it to a T.
For people who don't know who you are, tell me about your dad. Tell me what it was like as a person. How would you describe him to someone who has never met him?
So my dad as a person, he was just such a down-to-earth guy. He basically grew up in like a council estate in Sheffield.
Where I'm from.
Down in Gleedless. He just started work since he was 12 years old. He was the kind of guy that would literally just put anyone first before him. If you had any issues or worries, he'd stop what he was doing and then just make sure you're okay first. Don't know if that's because of his daughter, but I've seen him with other people as well.
Yeah.
He was just a manager in pubs. Potwell York,
Okay.
Potwell Norwich, Yates Romford.
So that was like his job. He was like a general manager of pubs.
General manager of pubs. And he just started off as a glass collector and just worked his way up. He was a proper grafter. He never had a bad word to say about anyone. He was literally just salt of the earth, proper down-to-earth guy, and just never had a bad word to say about anyone. And everyone even said that. At his funeral, I was like, oh, Johnny never had a bad word to say about anyone. I was like, I know.
Well, how come you didn't end up in hospitality then? Was it not something you wanted to... You did?
I did.
You did?
I did. And I worked for my dad for about 3 or 4 years. I got sacked twice.
From your dad? Oh dear. Sorry, Dad.
You know when you have like an argument and then he was like, right, that's it, don't come to work on Monday. I was like, ah, fine. And then Monday would come and he'd be like, coming to work or what?
So you got sacked but he'd rehire you on the Monday?
Yeah.
It was like a weekend suspension. No, you're not coming back home. Oh my God.
Literally, working with family's hard.
What was it like when you went back home when you got sacked? Straight to your room, you're grounded.
Oh my God, it was funny. It was so funny when I used to get sacked. And then we'd make up after the argument an hour after. And then he'd be like, right, okay, I'll see you on Monday.
Did you get special treatment when you were working with him? So was your dad?
I literally got worse. I got all the rubbish jobs.
Pot collected.
Collected.
Clean it.
Blowing up balloons.
For the children's birthday parties. Are you tented it, Ailey? Balloons. Go.
Blowing up balloons, washing their glasses. It was just these lackey bits.
Making the salads. Were you in the kitchen? Were you ever in the kitchen?
No, he never put me in the kitchen. I couldn't cook at home. When I used to like food tech and that,
Yeah.
like at school, I used to bring my food home and he'd be like, oh, that's nice. I just put it in the bin.
Oh.
Because I just wasn't very good at cooking.
No.
You know, it looked grim, what I
Really?
used to make.
Yeah.
I don't blame him.
Like baked potato slices in the oven with cheese on top.
None of it was cooked and it had to turn the oven on.
Here, Dad, try this. It's alright, it's sacked.
You give the
my
pub food poisoning.
Now I want you to go through the last years. Like, what was the diagnosis that he had?
Yeah. Okay. So,
Onto you.
and here I am.
It's all up to you.
Right, this is a bit complex. A bit controversial, but it's the truth. The truth is the truth. It was quite a few years ago, just before COVID time. He never had COVID. He was cutting his toenails and he'd cut some skin off his toe, but he didn't realise, he thought it was just a tiny cut, so he just put a plaster on it, then he got infected and he had sepsis. Little did we know it, he had diabetes. So when you've got diabetes, you don't have some feelings in your toes.
Didn't know that.
I didn't know that. He had diabetes. It was by diet though. That's how he got the diabetes.
Because of like pub diet.
Yeah,
He's always on staff
He used to have a kebab every night at Potwell York. Yeah, bad. And like a case of Beck's on a Saturday.
A case. How many were in a case?
Like 20.
Oh God. Was he a smoker?
He used to be, he quit ages ago. He quit for a good time. So that was like the first stint of the hospital trip. And then he got diagnosed with kidney failure and he was put on dialysis. But it was a while before he was put on it because he was controlling it with like walks, diet, stuff like that. Then he got put on it because he was getting fluid around his ankles and everything. So they had to put him on dialysis to drain him.
Is this like the same foot that he cut the toe on?
No, this was both ankles, like the whole body, like his legs looked like tree trunks. He even said, he was like, it's really hard to walk.
Yeah.
Like it's heavy. I was like, that's mental. He was put on dialysis. He did it himself at home. Like he had nurses come and just check.
Yeah.
It was absolutely fine.
So what year was this?
This was
Still at the earlier beginning of COVID.
end of 2021, start of 2022. So we had to have surgery, get the tube to the kidney. But they'd done it wrong.
No, they put it in wrong.
Yeah, when they put this tube in, there was blood coming out of the tube, which shouldn't happen. So something must have gone wrong there. Whilst they were doing the surgery, they found some lesions on his liver. I didn't know this before. When he was getting kidney checks in, when we lived in London, they'd found these lesions on his liver there, which was like 2020. 2019. And when we moved back up to Sheffield, the hospital had said, he's transferring up to Sheffield, please can you follow these lesions up? And then they never did. And then the next time they found these lesions was when they fit the tube to his kidney, and he was already on dialysis at that point. So I said to him, just get him checked, because he wasn't gonna. So we got him checked, and then found out it was cancer. It was on the liver, but it spread to like the stomach as well, but we don't know where it started. Then I got called to the hospital, along with my mum. And then obviously they sit you in a room and they tell you, he's got 3 months to live. Or like 6, he's got months to live, basically.
Just then and there.
Yeah. And I thought, well, how do you know this?
There was no like kind of nothing done before in order for you to kind of feel that comfort in saying
That's what
he's got 3 months left. They just brought you in and were like, it's like 3 months.
Yeah. You've got months to live. But you need tests to find out how serious it is, how far along it is.
To what stage, for example, it might be in. And yeah.
So they brought us in and they've said he's got cancer, can't do chemo because he's too weak now, because kidney failure. And then his dialysis just went a bit wrong. He had an infection, because I will hold him to it. You had to like wash your hands when you connected yourself to the dialysis, and he never did, because he thought it was unstoppable. And then he went to a hospital in Sheffield. Can I say names?
Can you say, like hospital? Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's a Northern General in Sheffield.
I was born there. It's fine. So we're good.
I was like, oh God.
Yeah. Rev it up.
You went to Northern General and they just never come out, basically. Yeah. When you're on dialysis, you need laxatives to keep the kidney clear. The tube doesn't like budge up. And then they never gave him his laxative. So he went a week without it. And then his tube moved, and then the dialysis wasn't working anymore because he was getting bunged up. We all got called in, and they'd stopped dialysis, but they didn't really give us a choice. They just said, yeah, we're stopping it. And I was like, no, you did this, you fix it. On his death certificate, it does say renal failure. They tried telling us it's a cancer. It was me against a ward nurse, 2 dialysis nurses, a cancer doctor, and a consultant doctor. And they were like, yeah, it's the cancer. And I was like, absolute rubbish. I said, bring this cancer doctor in, because he said it's not. They brought him in. He was like, no. I was like, exactly. So sort your stuff out. And I was told, yeah, well, he's dying. I went, he's dying anyway, so there's no point trying. I went, what am I paying taxes for then? Do you know what I mean? You've got a duty of care. And then I kind of flipped it around how would you feel if it was your dad or sister or mum? And their response was, there's no need to make it personal. When you get given such heavy information, the first thing to do is to outlash at the closest thing possible. We do always go straight to the doctors and the nurses for this. If something's wrong with someone in the hospital, the majority of the time we're like, you're the doctor, you've done. Oh yeah, they get the lash, you know what I mean? So tell me, when did he pass? So hats off to the doctor and nurse. After that chat, they did put him back on.
Yeah, okay. So they did. Yes, goodness.
Fight and I won.
Yep.
They put him back on, and then it started to work again. So I was like, oh, a bit of hope. Anyway, my dad didn't like the hospital, so he was like, I don't want to be here. So they said that he could go to a hospice to get better, and he believed it, because he had so much trust in like the professionals, as he should. You know what I mean? They're very good at the jobs. They know what they're doing. You don't go to a hospice to get better. He wanted to go home, so we took him to my nan's, his mum.
Where does she live?
Rotherham.
Not far.
No, not far at all. But I even knew then he was quite bad. Like, he wasn't compos mentis. He could barely speak. He'd been in a hospital bed that long, he couldn't even walk. You could see his body shutting down. Then we went back to my nan's, and we had like home doctors coming in, like agency staff, to check on him. I think he was at my nan's for about 4 or 5 days before he passed. It's weird, because everyone says about when people die that they know what they're doing and they know they're going. And sometimes people don't feel comfortable. The person who's dying doesn't want certain people to see them die, so they'll hold on and then go when they're not there. I said, I'll stay here. And he was like, no, go to work. I want you to go to work. Are you sure? So I said to my mum and my nan, as soon as something goes, bring me. And nothing went wrong. And then, it sounds so bad, right? But because I was a shot girl then, I got so drunk on shift, and I'd never get drunk.
That's understandable when something so heavy's going on. Yeah,
I got so drunk on shift, so I had to stay at my friend's. And then at 9 a.m, I got a phone call from my mum basically saying, he's going. I've missed his last breaths. I mean, I do regret it to a point today. I think I'd have been 100 times worse if I'd seen it. I seen him afterwards when I got there. I kind of think he told me to go because he didn't want me to see it, because he knew that I'd been allowed. Because we were like best friends, like, so I knew deep down he didn't want me to see him. And that's why he told me to go to work. He was holding on. Like, he should have gone a while, like a few days ago, before.
think he was waiting for you to go to work?
He was waiting for me to leave. I don't know how he held on that long.
Definitely think that there's something there in terms of holding on.
Honestly, I think it's 100% true. They don't want to do it in front of certain people. They'll just wait until that person's gone. If he was really that healthy to stay alive for them like 4 or 5 days at my nan, he could have held on an extra couple of days. But he literally went within the 6-7 hours I'd gone. He was 100% waiting for me to leave, so I'd kind of have more comfort.
Do you feel that anything went on whilst you were away with the other family members that you didn't know about?
I'd like to say yes sometimes, but then also no.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't speak anymore.
Yeah.
And then I went to work at 8 p.m. when the nurse had come the next morning, like he's got a chest infection, and I'm just relaying what my mum told me. And then apparently his breathing changed, which is what's kind of known as the death row. And then apparently he'd passed 2 minutes after that. So it was pretty instant. I don't think he declined any further whilst I'd been gone, because he couldn't. I don't think anything could have changed while I was gone, no. Because there's only so much we could have done.
I want to ask you some questions because I know a few people that are going through similar things with they're losing a parent or they're losing a family member as well. So they're very interested in listening to this. Did you feel that the world was different after he passed away, or did anything shift inside you emotionally or mentally during his loss?
1000%. I cannot tell you how much of like a different person I am now. It was like in the bed, and then you have to phone like a funeral director for them to come and take the body. And there is nothing more harrowing than watching your father get carried down the stairs in a body bag. Sorry if this is graphic, the viewers, but like, it is, and that changes you. Because that's when it doesn't sink in. I would say for like about 5 days after his death, I laid in bed. I was numb. Nothing. Every little minor inconvenience, like your sleeve gets caught on a door or something, you'd be like, oh my God, like, it's awful. I cannot describe how bad it is. You literally feel like there's no point anymore. I literally would not wish it on my worst enemy. And you just feel numb. You don't believe it. I'd honestly say for a good 7-8 months, I thought he's just on holiday.
You hadn't processed, in a sense.
Process at all. And I'd say it doesn't fully process until like a year and a half. Depending on how close you are, I was very, very close to my dad. He was my best friend. And when I say that, I mean like, we did everything together. I'd rather spend time with him than my friends. Mentally, you just become like a stronger person afterwards. You're better at communicating your emotions properly now. Before, if I was sad, I'd just be like, I'll brush it off. Whereas now I'm like, no, I'm sad. This is why. In my mind, you're kind of taking on the role of of me and my dad now. So I'm
being your own dad.
Yeah. I'm wanting to make sure my dad lives on through me. Everything I do now, I always think in my mind like, oh, what would Tony do? Because I want him to carry on living through me. It's weird, and I don't know if it's because of a sense of comfort that comes with grief. You do feel them like it is true what they say. In your lowest parts, you feel like a presence. I cannot explain it. It's so weird, but you do just feel them. Challenges in life are a lot harder because I've had a lot of challenges where I wish I could have texted my dad and been,
yes, having him there.
Yeah, like, what do I do here? And you can't. And that's kind of when you break down as well. But when you have a good support system, you know that, like, that's fine. I was 25 when I lost my dad. That's not a normal thing.
You're not like at that age at 2, where if and I hate to say this, when a parent dies at such an early age, you don't have as many memories, whereas when something happens in your 20s or your mid-20s, you have all of these memories, and then all of a sudden it's just smashed in front of you, and you have to kind of rebuild yourself.
I remember when he died and my auntie was next to me, like next to the body again, so I feel very graphic. The first thing I said to my auntie, I was like, who's going to walk me down the aisle?
Oh yeah, oh my goodness, that must have...
See my kid, who's going to walk me down the aisle?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
They're the first thoughts, because you think there's so many monumental things that he's not going to be there for. And that's what you've kind of got to overcome. And even now, and I'm like, what, two years on now? If I see something on TV, even now I'm like, I can see someone getting married or something, like Married at First Sight, I don't know. Like when your parents are here, you kind of take it for granted. But then, even when he was alive, I did not think anything about him walking me down the aisle. But that's the first thing that comes to your mind, how many monumental things that he's going to miss. It does just change you as a person. You will never be the same person you was before.
How did losing your dad impact your mental health?
I think I've got a lot more anxious after losing my dad than I did before. I don't know why, and I still can't figure out what the correlation is with the anxiety. I want to do life on my own.
By yourself without it.
Yeah, I can't ask for advice. Kind of like the anxiety of things going wrong, or like what do people think of me? If I tell people that I've lost my dad, are they going to think that I'm a basket case, like sad and depressed? 100% there's a lot of depression that comes with it. If you lose a parent and you are not depressed for a time after, something wasn't, it's going to hit you 100 times harder even further down the line.
When you realise that you did, or you do, there must have been some resentment there growing up with them and being like, oh, I'm not that bothered, and then boom.
Exactly. And I mean, I'm saying this because I was very, very close with him. For the first month, I think it was after the funeral, it hit me. I did not believe it at all.
It's hard though, innit? It's hard to believe.
100%.
Like, oh my God, imagine dad, and you're like, ooh, and then all of a sudden he's not there, and then you're like, God.
It's a massive
A
change.
lot of life.
Massive change. And it's a change you can't reverse. It's not like, oh, I've got a new job, I hate it, so I'm going to ask my help for my old job back. He is gone. You've got to deal with it. You do just become a lot stronger because you have to. It's not a choice. This is do or die.
This is it now. This is
You've got
life.
to. Yeah, this is your life now.
Do you think that losing your dad changed the way that you love other people?
I'm a very trusting person. Since losing my dad, I do think I keep them at a distance. I don't think you realise how big that love is. When people come into your life when they're alive, you're like, oh my God, you're living the same as I love my dad. And then obviously since my dad's gone, I've realised I'm never going to love someone that much. In my eyes at the minute, I cannot see myself loving someone as much as I loved my dad. When I'm grieving, and I've had some bad times in my bedroom crying, looking at old videos and that, trust me.
Yeah.
And it is fine because that's what grief is. But it sounds weird to say, but I do kind of like revel in them moments. And I like it because it just reminds you of how much love you had for that person. When I'm in my bed, crying my eyes out, 10 boxer tissues deep, I'm like, do you know what? I'm going to enjoy it because it's just reminding me of the love I had for that person.
And everyone loves a good cry. Everyone loves a cry. If you're not crying with them 10 boxes of tissues, then something is wrong.
You're just cleaning your eyes.
Yeah, I have to wait for the Kleenex discounts to be on Asda or the yellow stickers. I will buy them.
You're in the toilet roll.
Yeah, that's it. I don't even get tissues. I just buy toilet paper. Like, I just have it on a. Oh my goodness. Do you ever feel like there's a version of you that still exists in a world where he never left?
When he died, the old me died. From the day he died, I've had to rebuild a new person. I didn't know how to carry on as myself without him because he was the one that made me who I was. And then he'd gone, so I'd gone, essentially. That's how close we were and how strong the connection was when he left. And you can ask any of my friends now, I am not the same person I was when my dad was alive. Like, I still say all these jokes and stuff like that because, like I said earlier, I want him to live through me.
It's also still to remember it. Dude.
Little joke or a prank, and he was always laughing as well, so I feel like I just need to laugh all the time. And that there is still some aspects. Maybe I've gone a bit overboard with that. There's still some aspects.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's another version of me that's alive. I think this is
It's a brand new Hayley, brand new process.
brand new Barbie out the box.
Brand new Barbie. So you spoke about this before, but I just want to reiterate again and kind of expand on this. Do you ever find yourself reaching for the phone to call him to hear his voice, whether in like a voicemail?
I have this text pinned at the top of my phone.
These are saved though.
Yeah, saved. All of his old messages, like even the last ones. And the last one was love you, which I love. The last thing he did, right, we'd come out of the hospital and he just paid for my kitchen in my house. And he wasn't compass mentis and he could hardly speak. And the words he said was, I need to go see this kitchen. So we had to take him to my house to see this kitchen because he said, I've paid for it, I want to see it.
I need to see if it's fitted.
We had to take him in this wheelchair, sat him in the kitchen, I showed him all the drawers. I remember that forever. Any big thing that happens in my life, I message him. Obviously it says...
Still text him?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I message him all the time.
Does it deliver?
I have his phone, so yeah. Sometimes it doesn't deliver, I'll charge his phone. I have his phone, it's in a drawer. I have a lot of his stuff in a drawer at my house.
So it's like memories. Got the memories. Are you still charging the phone and using it and seeing it?
Not as much anymore.
Right.
When he first passed, every day that phone would not die. I would make sure that phone was on. I'd look for his pictures and stuff, and it didn't have a lot on there, to be fair, because obviously he was just a very simple guy. Message him all the time. I remember 6-7 months after he died, I got a new job. And I messaged him going like, oh my God, Dad, I got the new job. I've left like the old company like you were trying to get me to. And obviously that delivered because the phone was on at that point. It was only 6 months after. And I text him now and it says not delivered. But I feel like because I'm 2 months on and now obviously I believe it. But it's just a comfort. It's a way of sending a message, I guess.
And what are you feeling like when you've got his phone and you're picking up his phone and you can see that it was delivered? Like, was there a different sense of, I guess, like a mental comfort when you click send on your phone, even though you know your dad's phone is in the drawer?
Yeah.
It still gives you that kind of mental process of pressing send because it's his phone, regardless if it's next to me. It's still his phone. I guess therefore the brain's thinking I'm still texting him. There's still that connection with it.
Yeah.
You know, that must have been.
So I'd press send and I won't look at the phone until like 5 minutes after. And then when I'd seen the message, I thought, it's stupid because you think, oh my God, you're being daft. You've just sent a message to yourself. I feel like it's a lot better keeping the phone off and seeing the not delivered than it is seeing the delivered, because you're setting yourself up for hope. You're setting yourself up to be sad. And I think that's probably why a reason that I didn't believe it for so long, because I was just like, oh, it's been delivered though. The message has been delivered.
Print the pictures, get it laminated, insured. If it fell, like, I need this. But
another way, he didn't do a lot of writing in cards. So if I had a birthday card or anything, my mum would always just write it. The only writing I had is when he signed for the kitchen that he paid for in my house, and it's just his signature. And that's another thing.
Get it on the wall, poster, laminated.
I was going to get it tattooed.
Framed. Tattooed. Put it on my wrist.
Oh, honestly, I have got a tattoo though. I remember when obviously he died and we went to the funeral home. I went to the funeral people, I was like, this is going to sound really weird, but can you get his fingerprints? And they was like, that's not the weirdest thing we've heard, don't we? And I got his fingerprints tattooed in the shape of a love heart on my ankle.
Did you have it in an ankle because that's where the sepsis started?
No, I just had it there because it was a nice even place to put the stuff. But that's quite.
I thought that was the correlation there.
No,
Because
no
you'd put it on your foot because that's where it all started. That's where the love. Okay.
I mean, now it is. I got the fingerprints in the shape of a love heart on my ankle. I think that was literally before his funeral, like 3 weeks after he died. I went straight to the tattoo shop. Because you just want something on you forever, because imagine if like I lost the phone or if I lost the text messages. I think the worst thing that could happen right now is if I lost the text messages, because that's like the last part of communication. There's no way, right or wrong way to deal with it or get through it. You just kind of navigate it yourself.
For someone that is going through a similar situation with their dad passing or has cancer, what advice, what kind of top 3 bullet points could you give someone to get through the pain?
I'd start it with a summary of it's going to be bad. And the worst thing people can do is tell you it's going to be okay. I used to get so wound up with that. It's going to be okay. It's not going to be okay. It's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be awful. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it for people with advice. It is going to be gut-wrenching. It's awful. I think like my top 3 bits of advice is just go through the feeling. Like, it is fine. People will understand. It's a massive thing. Just feel how you want to feel. Do not put a brave face on. And that's the worst thing you can do, because I think I did it for like the first 2 or 3 months, and it kind of like delays the grief. Just be in the grief. And like I said earlier, if you're in the grief, it just reminds you of how strong the love is. And I think that's just beautiful. And it sounds so weird, like, oh, you want me to grieve really hard. Do it, because that's how much you loved that person. So grieve that hard. Be an ugly crier. If you just want to cry and not move from your dead bed for like 5 days, do it. Just do it, because that's how strongly you love that person. And that's fine. I think it's beautiful. A lot of people say do stuff to take your mind off it.
What was it? What kind of things were you doing?
I wouldn't even say I was going out, because I wasn't. I used to book holidays and then go on holidays.
By yourself?
Like with friends, used to go on holidays. I actually would go out a lot. I'd book activities. I'd just do anything to get my mind off it, and just delays it. No point, because it's going to hit you sooner or later. It's just delaying the smash in the face. And then I got multiple smash in the faces because I'd delay it that long and then just keep getting smashed in the face. Go at it head on and just go through it, because that's the best way you're going to get through it, because you just need to navigate it. Just honestly do it. Who cares? Like, it's a massive thing. Be sad.
Cry.
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 Be angry.
Cry.
the stages of grief thing is real though. You get sad, you get angry, and I got sad, angry, denial. I got it all. Maybe that is my top 3. Don't let anyone tell you it's going to be okay, because it's not going to be okay.
2.
Number 2, be sad, cry. If you don't want to leave your bed for 5 days, don't. Me and my dad used to go Meadowhall like twice a week for your sushi.
I
All
love.
the time.
Wait, is that the one with the band round it? Yeah, and you pick
We
off the
used
colour.
to- Literally, we used to go all the time. I am not even lying or over exaggerated. I did not step in Meadowhall for 8 or 9 months after it passed. And then you're like a year down the line, and I'm going to Meadowhall, and I'm in bits. I didn't just do it when I was sad. I felt like I couldn't go because if I'd have gone, I'd have been a mess. And it probably was for the best. You just need to listen to your body and your mind. And if you feel like it's too soon to do something, don't do it. But if you feel like, no, I'm ready, it's going to be hard to visit the places and stuff like that. But there's going to be a day where you're going to have to do it. And once you've done it once, you feel like you've moved on.
I think it's ever going. It's never going to stop.
It's never going to end.
Never going to.
When people go like, oh my God, it's going to be okay. No, it's not. Like, this is your life now. It's not going to change. It's not going to come back. It's just going to keep going. It's not going to be okay. The grief's not going to stop. Grief doesn't stop. You just learn how to live with it.
Grief doesn't stop. You just learn to just live with it.
Put that in the advert.
Are you hearing this advert? You don't want to stop in the grief and just. I've got it already. I need to rewind it. Oh my goodness me. Oh dear. So we're going to explore how your mental health was.
Yeah.
And I just want to ask, how did you begin to understand grief once your dad passed away?
I feel like with grief, you have to figure it out yourself. Everyone's grief journey is different. I've only just started understanding it and navigating what feelings what. When he'd first passed, I literally say up until 2 months ago, 3 months ago maybe, I was like, oh my God, why am I suddenly feeling sad? Because it's weird, like you'll be sad, you'll be having a really good day, and then you'll just be like, boom, something's happened.
Just hits you.
Nothing's happened. Like, nothing's happened. You've just got like this wave of sadness and grief come over you suddenly. And you're like, and it's true what they say about the body remembers trauma. I remember the anniversary of his first death. I think he died at like 10:53 or 10:54 or something in the morning. I remember on the anniversary, the first anniversary of his death, I'd not set an alarm or anything. Woke up, it's weird. It's like the body does remember trauma. There's no way to navigate it. You can only start to understand your own grief. And as horrible as it sounds, it's going to take years. It took me 2 years. Even like this stuff you'll do in your day-to-day life that you think, oh my God, I'd never do that before. And then you realise that you've learned from that makes you do that. I feel like there's no time limit on it. There's absolutely no time limit. And there's no way you're going to know how your grief's going to look.
Do you think that the grief for everyone depends on that closeness that you have with the parent? Because you said earlier your dad is like your best friend.
Yeah.
So if someone wasn't so close, do you think it is just different for everyone, or you just have to experience it?
I don't know in that sense. I can only speak on a sense of like, I know because of how close I was with him. Because he was involved in every aspect of my life. Maybe if someone else's parent wasn't involved in every aspect of their life and they was like more independent, it might not hit them as hard. But then I think because like you are biologically related to them, there is something in your genes. You are like missing a part of you. You're missing 50% of you. It'll hit everyone as hard, but I think how long the grief lasts depends on how much that person was in your life. Like for me, it hit hard because I obviously lived at home with my dad and I did activities out of work with him and I was in work with him. Do you know what I
You were
mean?
working, weren't you?
So he was every aspect, so like social life, work, home life, he was involved in every single thing. So it was a change in everything, not just like one aspect, not just like home life. I feel like grief, it'll hit everyone differently.
Were there ever moments when you felt that you were going backwards in healing, and how did you handle it?
All the time, I still think it now. Literally think, just so many times I'm like, oh, yeah, I've done so well at healing. And then I'll have like a bad day where I'm missing him. These days where I'll feel as bad as I did 2 months after he died. And this is one thing, you tell yourself, you're like, oh my God, it's been 2 years now, like, come on, you shouldn't be feeling this bad. And that's one thing I started to tell myself off for, really. Sit myself down and go, shut up. Like, because you think, it's been a while now, like, why are you still feeling sad? Of course you're going to feel sad.
But like you just said earlier, everyone has a different route of healing, so why would you back yourself up on that?
Because you think...
Why? Don't do it to yourself.
Sweetie.
Don't do it, girl. Stay alive. Stay active. Stay healthy. No, honestly, like,
You do, because you think, well, what if imagine if I'd gone to like my boss at work or something, like, oh, I'm feeling sad about my dad. And it is true, if someone's not gone through it, they don't understand. And I
can't
think
experience
you have
nothing.
you can't experience it.
nothing.
You don't
Yeah,
know.
I get that.
I've heard people say it, not to me in particular, but I have heard people say it like, oh, it's been a while now, they should be over it.
But do you think that that's something that you feel like peer pressured into, like you have to get over things?
Oh, 100%, yeah. 100%.
So how do you not feel like that? What my big thing is why don't you just kind of go, well, hang on, these guys can F off because this is my healing journey. And this is going to take a very long time.
Yeah.
I'd be like, girly, no. And I feel that in some ways don't kind of put yourself into that kind of any form of kind of negative or demoralizing aspect. You've lost someone.
That's what I mean. And at the start, I did think that, especially after the year mark, I was like, right, people are not going to be like tolerant to it anymore. They're going to be like, oh, she's using an excuse, stuff like that. Because I did have back then some people in my life that was like that. Like, come on, it's been a year now. I've cut them off now, thank God. But you realise.
Hallelujah.
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 Yeah.
Cut them off. We don't need that negative energy. You are cut. Be gone.
Cut off.
Cut off, girl. Yeah.
Yeah, I've
Okay.
cut them off now. But like, you do get them people. But again, you kind of realise like when to cut them off. But before, I wouldn't have cut them off before my dad died. Whereas like now, I'm like, no, I don't need you. Bye. You do beat yourself up about it, like, oh, it's been a while now. I should get over it. But no, there is days still where I remember when he first passed away, I couldn't even sleep because every time I closed my eyes, I had the visions of him being ill. I had visions of him being carried down the stairs in a body bag.
Yeah. Them flashbacks, them flashbulb memories.
I had to take calms, sleeping tablets,
Yeah.
a lot. I still have it now, to be that nowhere near as bad. But if
The
I had a
same
bad
or
day,
different, but just less or more intense.
it's not as intense.
Right.
I still have the flashbacks. Whereas before, if I had the flashback, I think there was like times I didn't sleep for like properly for about 4 or 5 days. It's grim, it's awful. It was intense then, and I'd be awake all night because I didn't want to close my eyes and see it again. Whereas now, you close your eyes, you see it, you wake up for a bit, and I'll just put Netflix on just to distract the mind. I have a very like quick thinking mind, like it doesn't stop, so I have to put something on just to calm it down. But you do get the flashbacks, and it still happens now. Not as intense. I'm not like waking up sweating anymore.
You want a wet bed.
I don't want a damp bed.
That's that, because I was going to ask you, when he's died, did that affect sleep, appetite, mental health? I guess if you compare the beginning and now after 2 years, what was the appetite and the sleep and even the communication? How were you speaking to people before in comparison to 2 years?
Before I would jump on anyone.
When do you know?
They'd be like, Haley, you're okay. I'm like, why am I asking if I'm okay?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was defensive communication-wise. You literally could have just, like you said, are you okay? Or do you want a cup? I'm like, why are you asking if I'm on food? You're on the defence.
Yeah.
Because it's fight or flight. And you're in fight and flight. You're in both at the same time. Food-wise, I remember the day he died, couldn't go back home. I didn't go home for about 5 days. I was sitting at my auntie's. I don't think I ate for 3 days. Didn't eat. My auntie was like, I think I had like 3 quavers. Like literally 3 singular quavers. I think that's all I had. And
Cheese
cup of
puff.
tea. Cheese puff. I had a cheese puff. You don't eat because you're in, I don't know, it's just the adrenaline. And like I said earlier, because you feel so numb, like you don't feel hungry or anything. And then sleep-wise, oh, it was horrible. Couldn't sleep for it. And I'd say for a good 3-4 months after I was having these flashbacks, like literally 3-4 months after, I couldn't sleep, like the intense one. I remember once I had a dream. I was like laid on my side, and then I'd opened my eyes, and then I'd seen like this, like something come towards me, and then I like screamed.
So like sleep paralysis kind of.
Yeah,
Right.
kind of.
And do you think that was obviously brought on from the death?
100%. Yeah, I genuinely think it was because I've never had anything like that ever. The sleep, the food. I mean, I did eat. I do love my food though. A good like a week after I.
Do you find that you eat loads more kebabs because he ate them? Is that what you have? Do you have a kebab every night and a 20-pack of Becks? Because we love Becks.
We love Becks.
Becks on memory. Memory is food.
I have a kebab with everything on.
I do love a mixed doner.
I love a mixed doner. Oh, he loved a bit of cheesy chips as well as some he had it all. Because basically he'd let the people from the takeaway park in the car park.
Oh,
free food.
that's why you love the food. Yeah. And do you know what? It's business to business, isn't it? Business to business.
So he was like, I'd be like, Dad, where you going? He's I'm off for a kebab. because it were free.
Elif, I'm sorry. Why would you pass away a free kebab with garlic mayo?
Oh, chili sauce.
Chili sauce and garlic mayo.
I'm not passing up on a takeaway for free. And then I'd go in and be like, I'm Tony's daughter.
I get a discount.
They give me for free as well.
Tony the GM. What did you get for free?
Oh, they did such a nice. This is in York as well.
Yeah.
Like they had such a. It's closed down now.
Oh, bless him.
Christ.
Bless him.
They did such a nice pepperoni pizza with cheesy chips and chip spice on.
Chips. I love
Yes.
Okay. Couple more questions. What is the biggest lesson you've learned about your mental health healing through this journey from when he's died? What's the biggest lesson?
That's a good one. That. That's a good.
Thought about these
Now you're
questions
the
before
other-
me. I was like, what should I ask? Questions.
No, I know you're good at your job. You know.
It's not a job. It's a lifestyle. Oh gosh.
Biggest lesson. Right, the biggest lesson I have learned: be patient and be kind to yourself. Because I tried rushing my grief journey because I don't want to feel like this anymore. So I try rush it. You know, but like I didn't have to make myself cry. I tried to rush it, and then sometimes I'd ignore my feelings of being sad because I'm like, no, we've done this now. It's done. This was obviously right at the start when I realised that grief is going to be with you forever. I literally tried rushing it so bad at the start. I was like, right. I remember once I literally told myself, right, you've got 8 months to be sad about this, and then we're moving on. And you can't do that. I've realised that now. Be patient, be kind, and just understand you're going to be. Sounds so bad. You're going to be sad forever. You're not, but you're
Not when you're eating kebabs.
Not when you're having a kebab and a pepperoni pizza now.
And a Bex.
And a Bex.
Oh, dumb. Yeah.
Just be patient, be kind. Just understand it's just you're going to have sad minutes. I'll literally cry for like 2 minutes and then I'll be like that.
But it's
You know
still
what
a
I mean?
grieving process, though, isn't it? As long as it's done in a health. Like, I say healthy, but I don't mean like this isn't healthy for me to cry. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's your processing. It's your way of processing that loss. It's beautiful, and I think we all have such unique ways.
Literally.
Ailey, one last question before we finish.
I am ready.
If Tony were here today, what would you tell him? What would you tell him about yourself, about your life, and what do you feel that you'd want to tell him and tell the world?
Oh my God, there's so much I'd tell him. There's literally loads. How long do I have with him?
Flash.
No, there's literally
Top 2 things. Top 2 things you'd tell him. Top 2 things you'd tell your dad if you were here.
top 2 things I'd tell my dad.
Top 2.
Oh,
I love kebab.
I've laid off the kebabs because your health journey scared me.
Yeah.
No, top 2 things. I've kept him alive,
Yeah.
and that I'm being everything that he would have done
Yeah.
is what I'm doing. So I'm kind of being my dad in a way. I'd tell him that. I'd say I kept you alive. Everyone still thinks about you. Everyone still loves you. A lot of people miss you. I'd tell him how packed out his funeral was. There were literally no seats left.
Ram.
Everyone come from everywhere. I think I'd just tell him how far I'd come because he'd be really proud. He supported me in every way, money-wise, emotionally-wise, anything I wanted, he was there. He was a dream dad. I think I'd just tell him how far I've come. Not without him, because like I said earlier,
No, but he's still with him.
he's
Still with
here,
him.
yeah,
Still
he's
with
still
him.
here.
Yeah. He made his mark.
he's made his mark, and I do still feel him here multiple times. Like I'm just thinking like, oh, Dad's here. But if I'm in a bad way, I'm like, oh, Dad's here. Do you know what I mean? You can still feel his presence. I think I'd just tell him, I'd tell him I moved to London and how that.
That's a huge thing, isn't it?
He'd look
I
how much
moved to
love
London. Yeah.
So I'd be like, Dad, I've done it. I've moved to London. I've got myself here on my own. You'd be proud. I tell him how single I am still and how sometimes I have to go for pints on my own now because we can't do Sunday Pint Club anymore.
Is there in spirit?
Oh yeah, he's up there with the Becks.
Bex and a kebab. Go on, Tony.
Now we can eat the most he wants. Oh my God, I do remember this one time with a nurse. He messaged me going, nurse is gone. We can have a kebab now. That was literally the text.
Get it in. You should have driven it down from shop where you got it for free.
Nurse is gone. She said I could have a kebab was the text. It was literally the text.
Oh, bless.
And he hid like...
Should get these printed. Get them printed, mate. Get them in a collage on the wall forever. I want these memories now.
Oh, he'd send me a picture, right? And it
Yeah.
looked like a plate of food. I was at work, so I didn't get tea. So my mum had made us all tea, and he had a plate of food. It was our favourite pasta.
Carbonara.
It was the one from like Hello Fresh. It was such a rogue one. I don't know, but it was so nice, and he loved it.
Yeah.
And then he got my mum to take a picture of him with the empty plate like this. And then he sent me it going, in my belly, yum yum. I was like, what do you mean?
Gosh, hilarious. Love him. Gotta love him.
He was so funny. I used to watch The Chase with Nick all the time. And he'd message.
Nick's my flatmate that I now live with,
yes.
by the way. No one knows. No one knows who you are, Danny.
Yeah, sorry. Nick's my best friend, and I'm just flatmate.
Yeah.
And he used to like message Nick being like, Chase is on at 7, will you be back? We used to go for a walk. In lockdown, Chase is on at 7.
See you then. BRB. Oh, bless.
Sorry, I went on a tangent then.
No, that's lovely.
Oh my God, there is a story. Can I tell it?
Of course you can, darling.
Oh
I was
my
going to
God,
be
love
like,
it.
okay, guys, and that is it. No, go. Give us
These
one
are
more,
all the-
one more story for the viewers. Like straight in that lens there.
One more story,
One
and
more.
this is how funny he was. He used to be the general manager of Flares in Leeds,
What's flares?
like
What
a
was-
70s
Right,
nightclub.
70s night.
Right. He made it onto Radio 1 with Chris Miles.
Nice.
He wasn't actually on the show. Basically, he got a call from the hospital, at Leeds Hospital, saying that, "Hiya, Tony, we've had like quite a few patients come in, and they've all got this that with like severe burns, and the last place there was Flares in Leeds." And he was like, "Oh, it was just a normal Saturday night. I don't know what you mean." Anyway, long story short.
Oh, good. Here we go.
Long story
They've all come in.
short.
People from Flares have gone to hospital.
Yeah. Like,
How
just
many?
gone out and
How
about.
many was thinking have gone to Flares?
Oh, there's obviously like hundreds that'll go on a
Right,
Saturday night.
Right. Oh, big
say like-
place to be.
Yeah, 500-600 people, like minimum. And some people have gone to like Leeds Hospital with like severe burns. So he's gone on. So obviously on the Mondays, that people come in and check.
Yeah.
Oh, you know the UV lights?
Yeah.
They have like a covering on them.
Yeah.
None of these UV lights had them on. So when people are dancing,
Getting tan.
they were getting tan, but then burn.
Oh my god.
So they were all getting. But obviously, this has nothing to do with my dad. This is just put the lights.
Yeah.
And my dad's gone, oh, what the hell? And then it made it onto Radio on Breakfast with Chris Miles. And he's like, oh, we've got Tony's quick tanning Leeds at Flares. And this one goes out to you, and then starts playing Burn Baby Burn on Radio 1. And that's my dad's claim to fame.
Oh my goodness, that. But babe, could you imagine that?
Imagine
Like,
Chris Miles saying Tony's quick tan from Flares Leeds. And my dad used to love Chris Miles.
imagine walking into A&E and everyone's like tanned, like as everyone had a free holiday in Barcelona for 2 weeks. Oh my
No, just
god.
to Flares Leeds. But that's his claim to fame. There's actually quite a few.
That's a lovely way to end. That's a do you know what? I needed that to end this. This is lovely. That's been great. I've loved this. You've loved it. Obviously, we have been speaking about some very sensitive topics in this episode. If you do feel affected by any of the information, I'll put some information to links to kind of mental health support or just other kind of organisations that can help you through that, or you can just send us a message or send Hayley a message. But this podcast has been for a place for Hayley to kind of vent that and to tell a story to others. The loss of a parent, and we do hope that you'll give us support in this, and no hate, no crime, but it's been a great journey. Thank you very much, Hayley, for coming on today. It's been great.
Thank you for having me. I've loved it.
I'm sure that the people out there will be great. Love to hear this, and I'm sure we'll have you on again soon. I want you for like my next anniversary one, so like when it gets to like 100th anniversary, I'll have you on the 100th episode of the. Any last words you've got to say to them? To them.
To them. To the viewers at home.
To the viewers on the podcast. What do you want to say?
I think I'd just probably say just be kind to yourself, and anything in grief is you're going to find your own coping mechanism. Mine's kind of laughing, but do you know what? Just do it. Who cares? You've got one life. I think one thing I've realised as well with death is you've got one life and it's permanent. Just do what you want to do. Everything is fine. Everything is a lot more exaggerated in your head than people actually think it is. Do you know what I mean? Have a good time. You want to do something, do something. Who cares?
Go to Flares.
I'm going to flirt and get a tan.
Bye.
Bye.